networkers, I want to welcome you to my live call tonight, and I'm going to talk about how to COVID-proof your business. What does that exactly mean? I'll get into that. And for those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke. Seriously. I had to sell a junk truck to get started, put $200 in my business. In the last 28 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. Hey, if you have to work, there's no place like home. I'm loving it. And I love teaching it. So for this is the time to figure it out, man. Put a plan together, write down what's most important. Most important. If you haven't done that, do it. And who do you need to be in contact with that you haven't talked to, that maybe you've talked about your business? Make a list of those people. Warner, what's up? Good to see you. In Georgia, New York City, nice to see you. Yeah, this is the beginning of the month, so it's it's been great. Ever since we've had this COVID crisis, it's been like our business got so much better. But I'll explain why in a minute. There's reasons for that. And then also, Sophie, you're up late. It must be 2 o'clock in the morning, UK time. That's a dedicated networker right there. Jenny in New York, nice to see you. And then, okay, that's good, Lisa. Nice to hear you. And Tisyang, nice to see you from the Philippines. Esther, good to see you as well. So here's the thing. I talked about making your business COVID-proof. And what I mean by that is we get in a methods or methodology of how we do this business, and we do it a certain way. We're creatures by habit, right? And then when something changes that, we go into shock because we just don't do it any other way. And so when we talk about what's going on now with the COVID-19 thing, a lot of people have had to adapt and change, and I've seen them do it, and I've seen others not. They're still waiting for things to go back to normal, and then we hear this is the new normal. Interesting. I mean, even where I live, we get 12 million visitors a year here in Gatlinburg, here in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's the most visited national park in the United States. And it's funny though, it's, we got outlets here. There's entertainment theaters, there's Dollywood, Dolly Parton's theme park. There's so much to do here. It's crazy, right? And so now that they've opened up, it's like no one wears a mask, no one's doing social distancing. I even went into a Subway today. I thought, it's been a long time since I've been to a Subway. I don't think there's hardly anybody in there. And I go right in there, there's a line, And I look at the workers, no one's wearing masks. And I'm looking and nobody has, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. Bad decision. And I'll tell you, we'll see how it all turns out. My prediction is we will see something much worse. It'll be a second wave and a big wave. But let's talk about that again, how this has affected network marketing companies, because many of you, you had conventions that have been canceled as a result of this. I know I was supposed to be in Korea at the Asian convention in Seoul, Korea, and that was canceled. Some of your leadership events have been canceled. Even some of your reward trips have been, canceled, right? I mean, mine has not been canceled yet. We're supposed to go to Bora Bora. I don't believe we will be, but anyway, we'll see. But some of you have already had reward trips canceled. It's affected you that way. And then on top of that, now we got all the crazies, all these cities in America right now that are in civil unrest, riots, everything. So that on top of the COVID-19 and in all these riots, none of these people are doing any social distancing, it's amazing. But with all that going on, how do you have a thriving network marketing business? And again, I go back to you adapt and you change. That's what you do. And I've seen some of the leaders in one of the poorest countries in the world, one of the poorest countries in the world, the Philippines. We always have great months, and they're in military lockdown in Manila, still in military lockdown, and yet they thrive. They do so good. But this is a culture of people that do everything face to face, and they do that in Korea. Korea, we had, I think, 3 people hit a major rank position in the month of May in Korea, in South Korea, again, and they're all doing it from their homes. And again, these cultures of how these people do the business is very traditional, very traditional. It's very face-to-face. If they prospect, it's face-to-face. If they do their meetings, that is their presentation meetings on the business, they do it in venue meetings. People get together. That's how they do it. So we have a choice. We can either wait until this is over, or we can see this as an opportunity to do something with it. Now, here's something I want you to remember. I want you to remember this, that network marketing does better when things are worse. That has always been my experience and my observation. Network marketing always does better when things are worse. When the dollar is not doing so good against other currencies around the world, we do better. We do better every time. Our products are more affordable. A lot of the countries where your companies market your products, they're very expensive in those countries. So again, when you have a weaker dollar, that's better. Do we have a weaker dollar now? Yeah. I mean, the feds are printing money like drunk sailors. Debt. All this bailout for COVID-19 for all these people that are not working right now, who will pay for that? Who's going to pay that debt off? Well, I'm not here to talk about that now, but I'm only making that observation that how does that impact the money? The value of the money. Well, it can go into inflation. If it went into hyperinflation, well, that's even worse, right? So what's happening now is people's choices are getting narrow, very narrow. Matter of fact, I think of, Sir John Templeton, because Tony Robbins talks about him a lot. But Sir John Templeton, he always said that the money is made in the winter. And from experience, and he came from my hometown, small hometown in Tennessee, Winchester, Tennessee. And he said that this goes back to the Great Depression. when the stock market crashed and everybody was depressed, right? Soup lines in cities. I mean, it was horrible, right? People committing suicide, leaping out of buildings because they lost everything, right? And here's a guy came from a farm in my town in Winchester, Tennessee, and he had $5,000, and guess what he did? He took all the money he had and he invested it in companies that were reputable companies, right? And when the market came back, he was an instant millionaire. He was the first millionaire in the comeback after the Great Depression. And so he coined a phrase, the money is made in the winter. Some people are going to ski, other people are going to freeze to death. What's it going to be for you? When in network marketing, it's like that too. When times get rough and things get hard, that's the time to do what? To invest. Yes, to invest. And that is invest your time, invest your focus, invest your resources. I mean, give it everything you have in the season of winter. And then what's going to happen is when everything normalizes, and when has the stock market not normalized? It always comes back, right? The same thing with this. When it comes back to normal, whatever that means, look at your income. Look at the size of your organization. While other people just sat around and did nothing during the time of winter, they didn't invest. Yes, those were the ones that froze to death, right? But you chose to ski. So the thing is, that's what we got to pay attention. If you want your business to be COVID-proof, these are the things that you're going to have to pay attention to. Now, I'll suggest a few things, that you can do, and then just some things that might be, I don't know, useful to you. If it is, use it. But here's the thing. Just understand this, that number one, what makes this time unique is people are going to look for other ways to make money. I mean, some of these, it's crazy. 30 cities in the United States have had riots, businesses burned down, businesses damaged, malls. I mean, crazy. I've never seen anything like it in my life. But think about it. People worked in those shops. People own those businesses. They're going to question other ways to make money, that's for sure. I'm not saying that they don't want to open their business anymore. They might. But don't you think they're also going to look to have a second income stream? Absolutely. I know, because I was one of those guys many years ago. When I go back in the mid 1980s, I had a business, I had employees, but I also was interested in a second stream of income. My reason was not the reason that they would have today, but it was mostly that I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I wanted to have a plan B in case something happened to my main source of income. But think about it today, there's far more motivation now. And then here's the second thing, is that people want more control of their lives. More control of their lives. They want to feel safe. Could you imagine working in these cities throughout the United States? Now, you might be in a country where you didn't have all this, but I think even in your countries where you haven't had riots, people, they're looking for alternatives to be able to work from home. There's so many advantages to that. But people in the United States, they want to feel safe. If they don't have to go out and they can do it from home and create income, that's a good thing. And then here's the other thing, and that is people want to diversify their income. So again, they don't just, people have lost faith in a lot of these companies. Companies that they trusted, they thought would be around forever. Their jobs are secure, and then they find out they're not. And then they realize also these companies are interested in one thing and one thing only. It's not their employees. It's their company. It's their investors, their stockholders, and things like that. But they're not worried about employees and what becomes of their lives and families and how they're affected. I give you an example because I was talking to my daughter today, and her husband works for Google. Well, he's been told in November his job is up. That's it. He's out. You think Google's worried about his future? No. Google's concerned about Google. So I think more and more people realize this. I can't trust my future in a company. Again, all the more reason to look and listen to you, to what you have. And that's the thing that we have to just pay attention to. So here's something though. Some of you are in companies that are not progressive. What I mean by not progressive, that they sort of shy away from social media because they've seen some of the problems with the FTC and compliance issues and things like that. And they were just like downplaying anything online. Well, they can't do that now. Because if you're going to work from home, you have to have tools, you have to have a presence. And you got to get good at it. That is if you want to do very well with this. Now, if you just want some part-time money, then forget anything I'm saying right now and go do something else. But if you're serious about this, then you have to get serious about learning how to market yourself. What I mean by market, I don't mean it in such a sophisticated way, like maybe companies do, but I'm talking about if your company doesn't have good videos, good support material, don't wait. I never waited on my company to do anything. In all the companies I've ever been in 40 years, I've never waited on them to do anything. Here's what I want them to do. Create a good product, pay us. That's it. Get out of the way because you don't know anything about network marketing. Most of you don't. I'm talking about companies. Most of them don't. They're not into marketing. And I'm not into what they do. So I'm not a research scientist. I don't run companies. I don't deal with CPAs. And well, I got my own, but I'm just saying that we have to be good at what we are. That's it. And so if they don't have a good video, then fine. YouTube is free. Create your own video. Just be careful. Don't make any claims, okay? If your company, if you're marketing a health product, if it's a service, okay? Whatever it is, there's things that you can do, and also create your own PDFs. Again, you say, well, that's work. That's right. This is called network marketing. Do the work. And if that's what it takes. Now, if you have good support, then that's good. Then use the tools. Use the tool. Now, here's some things that you need to do when you are engaging with people, engaging with prospects. Do your best to get their phone number, okay? Because what happens if the social media platform, and I can't say names right now, obvious reasons, okay? You don't have that anymore. How many people do you know have been in Facebook jail, right? I mean, some of it is permanent. It's, I don't know it's permanent jail, okay? I'm just saying. And then you lose your contacts. How are you going to reach out to people? It's very important that when you are prospecting people, people will ask you, if you say, hey, I'd like to send you something, but I prefer to do it in a text. Can I get your phone number? Simple question like that. Oh, okay. Second, emails. You can even do this on a page. Make it, it's just a little box. You have an offer. The 7 most kept secrets that entrepreneurs won't tell you. You say, well, I don't know those. Google it. There is an ocean of information out there. I promise you, if you ask a question, you're going to get all kinds of stuff. And you're going to think, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that. And all of a sudden, you're brilliant. Oh, my gosh, you're a rock star. And you simply, when you put up that information, they'll get it when they give their name, their email address to you. Why do you want to collect email addresses? I'm going to tell you, some of the best marketers out there, that's how they're doing everything, is through email. You can make offers on your products, on promotions, talk about stories, share stories, people, the experiences they're having on the product, business opportunity, what's happening with some people, families that are, earning an extra $1,000 a month and the difference it's making in their home life, blah, 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 just giving value, education, things like that. You can get very creative. But as long as you have their email addresses, you're going to be able to reach out to them and keep feeding that. You're going to drip on them, drip on them, drip on them. Now, I wouldn't send it every day because they're going to just unsubscribe, okay? But once or twice a week, for sure, you could put out some information, and then you're always nudging them closer to making a decision to go in business with you. So you should never be dependent on a social media platform. So now let's talk about your team. Some of you want to get your team into action. It's not just yourself. You don't just want your business to be COVID proof. You also want your team to also see the value of that. And so what we have to do is just remember this. If your team, excuse me, if your team is in confusion, then they're paralyzed. That's paralysis, okay? If they're in confusion, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to take action. And many times when people tell me their teams aren't moving, I'm thinking, I wonder why. Because they just don't understand what to do. It's not been explained so well. So what can you do? Again, you're working from home. If you want a COVID-proof business, you're going to have to create tools. So they have an onboarding video. You can create your own YouTube onboarding video. And that is, don't make it complicated and don't have it longer than 3 minutes, 4 minutes max, okay? Not nice and short and sweet. And the only thing you want to train them on is what they need to be doing in the next 30 days. That's it. You just want to get them to make some money. Get them to believe that this actually works. Even if it's a couple $100, I don't care. But they have to believe it. They will never move forward if there's not faith. Faith is believing things that you can't see. And so the thing is, they might want to earn $1,000 a month, so they see what that would be like. But once they earn a few $100s, now it confirms that what they're doing is true and it works. So a few action steps is all you need to give them. And that's what you need to do, is do that. So, and again, don't overwhelm them. If you overwhelm them, you'll blow them out. No quit. Yeah, complexity is the enemy of duplication. Now, here's some other things that you can do with your team to create some speed. Wake them up. Wake them up. It's all about getting them to take action. But we're talking about daily action, daily things that they do, that at the end of the week, at the end of the month, it adds up to be a lot. But we just want them focused on those daily actions that are important. And you can do that. One thing you can do with your group is you could get your team together if you wanted to in the mornings, afternoons, evenings, however you want to do it, or all three. And you can get together, and you as the leader, this might scare you, might want to show them what it's like to prospect people that you are prospecting. If you're making a phone call, say, hey everyone, I want you to listen. I've got a phone appointment at 9 o'clock. I want you to hear what I'm going to say. And of course, you got it muted on Zoom, but they get to hear what you are saying. It gives them ideas, and they think, wow, it wasn't as hard as I thought. Talking to people isn't that hard. Things like that, right? But show them by example. Show them what you do in the morning. Maybe you have a challenge with your group to add 10 new friends to your network in Facebook. Think about it. If you did 10 every day, that's 70 a week, right? I mean, it adds up. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people in a short period of time. And then teaching them how to use a link. Some of your leaders may be older people, okay? So we just have to teach them, how to download a Zoom app, how to keep a link I use Facebook, Apple Pages where I keep my links. And then I've got certain subject titles on those pages. It might be the product, it might be videos, and there might be a few different choice videos. But I have them on that page, and I can show people this is what I do. And I go to that page, and then I copy and paste, and I say, you know, hey, I appreciate you're willing to take a look at this. I'm going to send this to you. So those are things that you can show them what to do. Here's something else. You could, I'm giving you ideas. This is not what you have to do. I'm just giving you ideas, because to be COVID-proof in your business, you need to be resourceful. And that is, you could do Zoom calls where you're doing meetings, you know, just meetings. And you could work with your upline on that, on doing the presentation about your product, the industry it's targeting, the need it's fulfilling. Why do people need this product? You can even have some people share some experiences, how they've done in the business. You know, whatever you want, whatever you think is most important in terms of value, and then just have it regularly scheduled. You know, the one thing that we did is, and this is all in how you sell it too, and that is, in the old days, I would say to someone, I'd say, hey Bill, we have a special event going on Friday. It's something that I've been introduced to. I don't want to explain it because I'm not good at explaining it, but I would like to invite you to it. I've only been given two seats. And so I was, because it's limited on the amount of people that can be at this event. And I thought about you. I really did. Do you think that's possible? Can you commit and go with me or meet me there? Because I can only give it to two, but I was thinking of you because you're special, man. Now, you can treat your Zoom calls like that too. You can say that these meetings are limited. It's a limited capacity event, and I thought of you. So you get creative. Again, you have to dignify what you do, but again, I go back to the word urgency, 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 urgency. If there's one thing I crushed it 21 years ago when I got started my first 90 days and created a team of 800 people, was I had a sense of urgency. Guess what? I duplicated that into my leaders because they do what I did to them, right? And so then they had a sense of urgency. So that's the thing. So you might want to possibly organize a Zoom call. The old saying, never let a crisis go to waste, right? And at this time, like Sir John Templeton said, in the time of winter, that's when money is made. Then understand, focus, tenacity, a sense of urgency, consistency is what wins the game, not showing up and being spectacular now and then. Consistency. Suck at what you do, but you're doing daily action steps, and it all adds up at the end of the week. It all adds up at the end of the month. And you teach your leaders to do the same. That's the key. And that's what wins. So you might want to consider that. And then if you want to share something inspirational to your team in the morning, you know, certain messages you want, they don't have to be lengthy, but heck, you're home. So do a power hour, do some personal development, share what you're learning with people, what you're excited about to your team. Be a force of positive good. Look at all the crap that's going on in America right now in all these cities. These horrible people that want to destroy. You know, this is your opportunity to be the opposite, a force of good. That will attract people to you. It really will. Because there's, you know, who can watch this stuff? Even on TV, it's crazy. Here's the other thing. 3, here's the third. Teach them a system. System is a you know, sophisticated word, but you've heard me use the baseball diamond analogy, right? There's 4 bases. Baseball's been around, what, 140 some years. The balls are still round. The bats are still a bat. They still use gloves, catcher mitts, and baseball catcher gloves, and things like that. And you think after 140 years they could do it differently. Let me tell you something. Stay with the basics. I'm telling you, social media, tools, things like that will never, never replace the basics. Now you can express those basics with technology, with tools, sure. But the principles always remain the same, but the tools change. So again, teach your leaders, because we're talking about teaching, teach your leaders. First base is what? That's the invitation. The invitation is not the presentation. The purpose of the invitation is to get them into a state of openness where they're not closed. We do that by creating curiosity. And so that's seeing if they are open to an income from a business that wouldn't interfere with what they currently do, could be a second income, and seeing if they're open to it. The second base is the presentation. That can be a Zoom meeting you're taking them to. It can be a link to a video. So if it's a Zoom meeting, here's what I would do. I would sell hey, it's limited. I can only bring a couple of people with me. I thought about you. You make them feel special. Then after the meeting, you let them know. So listen, I'm going to call you after the meeting. The one way you can do that, now Facebook Messenger has rooms. So just tell them, say, listen, I'm going to add you to a room, and I'll call you on the Facebook Messenger chat using the room feature, and you can have an upline with you. And if you don't have to have an upline with you, but for some of you that are afraid, okay, that if you haven't, practice just go to your Facebook Messenger, and you'll notice that new feature. I think you see 3 faces down at the bottom. Then you touch that and go to rooms. You can add people, and you're all in a video chat. So try that. See how they like that. But again, if you don't want to use your upline, fine. Then just call them. Just talk to them. I always, if they're open to FaceTime, if they have an iPhone, then use that. If you can do a video chat, that's more powerful than an audio. But if all you can do is audio, that's fine. But when you follow them up, the question is always whether it's a Zoom meeting you brought them to or a video that you sent them. The question is always, what did you like best about what you saw? Because it gets them to take a positive position about your opportunity. Most important about that. And then the next question, to make this worth your while, how much money would you want to earn from this? Again, they're searching for a positive response. They're thinking positively. That's exactly, you don't want a critic at this point. And then the answer is great. Hey, listen, I'm glad to hear you say that. Well, you know what? Let's get you started. I can get you enrolled right now. You know what? I'll run with you. I promise you, I'll support you. Let's just make an agreement right now. If you don't quit me, I won't quit you. I look forward to running with you and having fun and making money with you. You just keep it upbeat and positive. That's what I did 21 years ago. We didn't complicate this thing. We kept the basics, the basic principles. And then, of course, third base is answering any objections they have or not, just any concerns. Keep in mind 4 things they always think about. 4 things what is this? Does the product have value? Can I make money? Can I get help? Those are the 4 things. Now, they may not ask you that, but that's what they're thinking. And if you don't answer that, they're not joining. So again, that's all part of third base. And then bring them home. Enroll them. So those are some of the ways that you can, definitely, make your business COVID proof. And I hope you do. So I thought I would send out that value to you tonight. I hope you got some value. If you did, share it. And my book, for those of you that don't know, it's on Amazon. It's called Reaching the Peak. It's also in Spanish. So thanks for getting on the call tonight. And because I got to get on a Zoom call in 10 minutes. So I'm going to be speaking to leaders in Asia. Anyway, thanks for getting on, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.